doing what Mike used to do very finesse and very beautifully, that head movement, bang, 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 get to range, and then he kind of crowded himself. I could see one of these things being a possibility where not in this same way where Mike is like, talking that stuff, throwing his right hand out like gotcha, and then gets clipped, but potentially rushing into range to try to cut distance like he does. And Jake landed a nasty, nasty overhand on Mike. But again, what I'll tell you is when Jake does throw these things, does a good job of tucking his chin, covers his face with his left shoulder, and then rips that right hand over the top, man. I can't believe how accurate he is while looking at the floor with it, but it's crazy. The biggest thing I take away from all this is that Jake has now cleaned so much stuff up. There's still some holes there. Jake still...
Yeah, I just think that's stupid. What's the point of going to a beach if you have to have a badge? That's just dumb. Is it an excuse to get more money from people? Because I'm sure you got to pay for that badge.
Overthrows the right hand from time to time. He still does duck into the right hand and look at the floor. And sometimes he gets frozen in some of his combinations and then has to kickstart it. But he looks a lot cleaner. He looks a lot lighter on his feet, and he looks more decisive in his boxing. It doesn't look like he's just throwing and hoping. It doesn't look like he is figuring it out on the fly. It doesn't look like a guy that's been training this just for a short period. He looks like a boxer, which is why I say I think Mike is in real trouble here, if not for the openings that present themselves early in rounds and in the early rounds as well. What I mean, the first minute of the 2-minute rounds and the first maybe 2 to 3, 4 rounds of the fight. I'm not saying Mike can't be fresh for the entirety of the fight. Maybe he can, but I think just as this thing goes on and as, 58 years old, you're not going to have the same explosiveness. You're not going to have the same pop on your shots. And again, what people get wrong about Mike Tyson, and I'll show you guys a clip here, is that his power was never the thing. Yes, it jumped off the page, but it wasn't what made Mike special. The ferociousness, all of that, the big uppercuts, that was all great, but all of it, every single bit of it came from his feet. Mike's feet. There's a reason you don't see anybody else in today's boxing using Mike Tyson's style of fighting. One, it's brutal on your gas tank. Two, you're going to get hit a lot. One, because you're not Mike Tyson, and also because even Mike got hit a lot because you are square and you're relying on head movement, anticipation, and the ability to stay square off your jab to get to range. And three is because Mike was a freak athlete that just happened to be, chosen for boxing. And this is the reason I've been very bearish on Mike having a shot here. In other words, I don't think he has much of one outside of the, again, first minutes or so of those rounds, while he still has some of his explosion. It's 58. Because at some point, no matter how much you train the body, no matter how much muscle memory is there, no matter how much you think or will yourself in the gym to be at your very best at 58 is just not that. And your muscles, while they have the memory to do the things, cannot function at the level that they need to for the rounds that they could 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever. And that battle of attrition that Mike's going to have to face is ultimately what I think gets him hurt very badly. Because Jake can take punches. Not saying that Mike can't land a left hook and knock him out. He can. Jake's tough. He's taking big-time punches. I don't think that he should be taking open on the chin left hands from Mike Tyson or uppercuts or any of that